Okay, let's not waste a second. We're in September, and if you're a Florida gardener, this is arguably the single most important month of our entire year. I'm not exaggerating when I say that the handful of tasks that you do or don't do in the next 30 days can completely define your success for the rest of the fall and winter. For some crops, if they don't get into the ground now, you've missed the boat entirely. So in this video, we're going through the urgent September checklist. This is what you absolutely have to get done to make sure you don't miss this critical window. All right, before we break things down zone by zone, there are 3 foundational tasks that every single one of us in Florida needs to get done, or either have done or be doing right now, actually. So first up, do an irrigation check. The heat is still kind of intense. Don't let new seeds or delicate transplants dry out. And believe me, you have to check this system regularly because things you don't expect will go wrong. For example, just the other day, I went out and found my automatic drip timer was somehow just stuck open and had been watering constantly. I'm going to assume it's because our hard water here, I think it caused that valve that opens and closes to let water flow, caused it to stick open. So who knows how long I've actually been watering for. I'm sure that my water bill is going to let me know. And also on one of my drip lines, the little plug at the end had just popped straight off and it was just spraying water everywhere. So do yourself a favor, take 10 minutes, run your system and make sure it's working. Cool. Second, it's time to prepare your garden beds. This is the time to be really generous. If you're in North and Central Florida, it's time to clear out those tired summer plants and weeds goes for everybody. And add a good 2 to 3 inches of compost and organic matter. In our beds this year, first what we did was we actually chopped and dropped sun hemp and pigeon pea and just threw it back into the beds that it was growing in. Then we added a couple inches of some basically unfinished compost that's mostly made of rabbit and chicken bedding, and also just some kitchen scraps, old kale and cantaloupe, those things. But on top of that, then we added a few inches of Kellogg's garden soil, which is a pretty budget-friendly option that you can find at Home Depot. And then to top all of that off, we used Easy Straw as mulch. We bought this 2.5 cubic foot bag of straw, and it covered all 3 of our 3x6 beds, our 3 2x2 beds, and then we still had some left over to throw around our loquat tree. It's a pretty affordable option that works really, really well. We picked ours up at Tractor Supply if you're interested. You don't have to follow that exactly step by step, but definitely find a system that works for you. The key is really to feed that hungry soil, which will then feed your hungry plants. And the third thing, and this might be the most important part, is to finalize your garden plan. Purchase any seeds that you're looking to grow. And I don't just mean make a list of the plants. I mean, really think about the layout of your garden. You have to remember that the sun is going to be moving. So for example, I have one bed that's currently getting full sun, but I know from experience that by December, it's only going to be getting about 4 hours of direct sunlight. So that's where I know I need to be planting things that enjoy less sunlight, things like herbs or maybe leafy greens, things that don't need as much direct sun. You also have to think about final plant sizes. This was always super tricky for me. You don't want to be planting a tiny dill seedling, for instance, behind where you plan to put a big, maybe indeterminate tomato plant that will eventually shade out the dill plant completely. So typically, you want to place smaller plants to the south of taller plants. Think it through now. It's best to do it now and order any seeds or transplants that you want to grow. But speaking of seeds, I actually put together a pack of seeds dedicated to Florida gardeners growing in the fall season. It has 16 different veggies in it, and they are all proven varieties known to grow well here in Florida. If you want to check that out, I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the description. It'll really help support the channel. Cool. Okay. With the foundation laid, let's get specific to your part of the state. For my friends in North Florida, these are zones 8B, 9A, like Tallahassee and Jacksonville. Your goal is to get things established before that first frost. If you want to grow things like tomatoes, you should really already have seeds started as transplants or be putting transplants into the garden this month. It's probably too late to start seeds for tomatoes. At this point, typically tomatoes can take around 75 days or so to start actually producing. And your average temperatures in December up there are a little too chilly for good tomato growth. So you want to grow tomatoes and you haven't planted seeds yet, your best bet is to buy already grown transplants. This is the time really to be starting seeds to grow as transplants for your big cool season champs. I'm talking about broccoli, cabbage, kale, collards, cauliflower, and lettuce. It's also the perfect time to get onion sets and garlic in the ground. For root vegetables that you sow directly from seed, so plant them basically straight into the garden, now is the time for carrots, beets, radishes, and turnips. You might even be able to sneak in one last round of fast-growing bush beans if you really wanted to. But just be prepared. You may have to protect them from an early frost if it shows up. Cool. Now for those in Central Florida, really zone 9B, the I-4 corridor area, our prime time is just about to begin. The key for us is waiting really towards the middle to the end of the month. It's still a bit too early in September for most cool season things to really grow well. Towards the end of the month, that's when you want to get your seeds to be grown as transplants. Started for broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and lettuce. And this one's kind of exciting. This is actually the perfect time to get your strawberries planted. This way you can have a massive winter harvest. There's a reason why the Strawberry Festival is in March. But for things like tomatoes and peppers, our window to plant has been open since about mid to late August and really continues into the beginning of September. So if you're in Central Florida, you still have time to plant those as seeds. If you haven't already, now is the perfect time to get those seeds started. So you'll have strong transplants ready to go in a few weeks when really the weather is just right. Okay, South Florida. These are zones 10 into 11, like Miami and Fort Myers. October is really when things start popping off, but there are still plenty of things that you can be planting in the month of September. Your main job this month is to start your seeds either indoors or in a protected area. Get a head start on your tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and squash, really. Grow these seedlings to be strong and healthy, ready for your prime planting window, which is in October. You can continue to grow really true heat lovers outside, like okra, sweet potatoes, Seminole pumpkin. Those things are still going to continue to grow well throughout this month. Right now, though, if you wanted to, you could direct sow melons like cantaloupe and watermelon. They're going to do really well right now if you direct sow them in the garden. Now, there is a really small chance, and this is a big if you get a cool front at the very end of the month of September, that kind of knocks your average highs down to the 80-degree area, you might be able to start putting in some of those cool season transplants. So this is planting seeds to be grown as transplants. Those are things like broccoli or cabbage. But honestly, most years, you'll really be waiting until October to get those going. So it doesn't really matter what zone you're in. September is a month of action for Florida gardeners. It's really about setting the stage for the most rewarding gardening season. I love growing in the fall in Florida. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Your future harvest will thank you. And hey, if you're a new Florida gardener, all this talk about zones and planting times and varieties can definitely feel a little overwhelming. That's why I made this next video for you. It's actually called The Number One Thing New Florida Gardeners Need to Know. And I think it will clear up the biggest source of confusion for brand new Florida gardeners. Click on that one next. And before you go, actually drop a comment below and let us know, what zone are you growing in? And what are you most looking forward to growing? Thanks for watching, and I really hope this helped.